How's it going, everyone? Today I think we're gonna go over 5 things about motorcycling that people, might not always think about. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want to go over about motorcycling is the cost. A lot of people don't think about the upkeep of owning a motorcycle, and for some people it can be a little bit too much. You always want to go into buying a new bike, and you want to get the latest and greatest thing, and you also have to think about insurance rates and just maintenance costs. I know back when I was under 25, I was paying, it was like $60 a month for my R3, and that's just an insurance. So the insurance can be kind of pricey, and that's in New York. So I know down south and in other warmer areas where people can ride all the time, insurance can get even more expensive. So if you're a young guy or young girl and you're looking into getting bikes, you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. And then you also have the cost of tires and the cost of oil changes. Although if you do oil changes on your own, you'll save a lot of money. I know here an hour of maintenance is typically like $80, so it can get pretty expensive, especially if you need to change your oil every couple thousand miles. And then going back to tires, a good pair of tires can run you like $300. I know my rear tire was like $200 for this one. So placing those every like 8,000 miles or 10,000 miles, that can also get pretty expensive. So those are just things you want to think about. Number 2 for this list is going to be the amount of attention you get. Now, I know a lot of people go, oh, I'm going to get a bike because then all the girls will notice me.
Nope.
I got bad news for you guys. Girls don't really care. The amount of attention that you'll get is mostly from guys going, oh, I used to ride, then you're filling up at a gas station, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes you don't really want to talk to people, and I mean I can't blame you for that. Sometimes I'm like that, but you'll get a lot of random people just going, oh, nice bike, or how much power does that thing put out, and just random stuff like that. But at the same time, you'll also get a lot of people just looking at you while you're driving, and you'll start to notice that as you ride. You'll notice all these cars just kind of looking at your bike and checking it out, which isn't, again, necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, it's distracting them from the road, and it can be a potential hazard to you. So it's just stuff you have to look out for. So I think number 3 on this list, and I don't think there's going to be a set amount of numbers, but it's mostly just whatever I can think of, is you will always check the weather before going for a ride. Now, I know here in New York, we don't get that many days or months of riding in a year, so I know when it finally starts getting nice out, like it finally has started to here, I'm always checking the weather. I'm like, oh, is it going to rain today? Is it going to be nice out? Is it going to be really hot? Is it going to be really humid? It's all stuff that you're going to look into. But you're going to... what's this car doing? Alright. You're going to look into... you're going to look into the weather. And, you're gonna find excuses to go and ride more, which, yeah, it's fun. You're paying for a machine that you're making monthly payments on. I don't see why you wouldn't want to ride it more. Number 4, and this one This one is actually a pretty good one, but once you start riding motorcycles, you will also become a better driver. Now the reason being is that while you're riding a motorcycle, you should always be attentive for things, you know, watching out for cars pulling out and just noticing stuff on the road more. You'll notice more debris in the road, more potholes, you know, everything like that. Because when it boils down to it, riding a motorcycle, it takes a lot of attention, you know. You want to make sure nobody's braking too hard. You can start to notice patterns from people that are driving, and you'll be able to avoid accidents more often. Number 5 on the list is you'll feel more alive. Now this one's kind of hard to explain, but while you're driving in a car, you know, usually your windows are up and you don't really get to feel your surroundings. Now, I don't necessarily mean like physical. So what I mean by this is you'll be able to smell more around you. So I'm driving through this nice like wooded area right now, and it smells like if I was in a forest, you know, whereas in a car you wouldn't really be able to experience this. But on the flip side of that, you know, you also smell all the bad stuff. So like when I'm going through fog, man, fog stinks. The fog smells so bad, it's awful. I really hope nobody really ever has to ride through fog. It could have been like a once in a while kind of fog or something, but man, when I went through that, that was not fun. Not fun at all. So you'll smell stuff like that. You'll smell dead animals more on the road. Those are also rancid. Those are almost as bad as the fog, but I don't think anything really tops a dead animal. But you know, you'll be able to feel the wind on your skin. You'll feel the heat a lot more than if you were in a car, because you know, while you're at speed, the wind feels great. Today was a great example of that. It was about 85 out, and that's one of the reasons why I'm recording at such a later time now, is it finally cooled down a bit. But earlier we were sitting at red light, and I was just burning up. It was terrible. It was awful. Like, I completely see why people don't always wear their gear, which, on a side note, you should always wear your gear. I know I'm not wearing a jacket right now, but as far as gear goes, that's really all I'm not wearing right now. Which I definitely don't recommend. You should always try to wear all your gear if you can. I understand if you don't, you know, it gets hot, but it really will. It really will save your skin, you know. Road rash is no joke. You get that, and then you got to sit in bed and recover. And the one thing that you really want is a helmet, and well, I guess the two things you really want is, one, a helmet, and two, a pair of gloves. Because if you go down, the first thing that's going to hit the ground almost every single time is your head, or your hands. But almost every single accident involves trauma to the head. So definitely make sure that you have a helmet on. As far as my list, though, that's really all I can think about, guys. If you guys have any other things to add to this list, why don't you leave it in a comment down below. And while you're at it, hit like if you like the video, dislike if you dislike the video. You know, be honest. I don't mind. I'm trying to make these better for you guys. And some feedback will really help with that. So remember to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content from me. And you know, until next time, keep it upright, keep it on 2, and stay safe.